to the EQ Video Tip. I'm your host, Eric Forsetter, and as always, we are so happy that you've joined us again for another edition of the EQ Video Tip. Before we get started, let's review the goals of EQ Video Tip. Welcome back. We're at the second half of a great article by Justin Bariso on 10 things that make managers the most successful and most productive and most beloved by their colleagues and their employees. We're going to jump into the second half of these tips. Remember, all of these tips came from research that Google did. And again, make sure you customize them for what makes you a better manager. And if you're not a manager today and you want to be one, these are tips that you can learn about. And if you never want to be a manager, which is okay too, there's still items that you can use to work with your colleagues to become a better teammate as well. Let's jump in right now. Tip number 1, great managers support career development and discuss performance. And it's important that managers are invested in their people. They provide clear career path options, and they realize that not everyone is going to follow that same goal or that same path or that same road that's out there. Instead, they don't hold their people back because of their own personal gain. They support team members to keep them motivated and help them to reach their personal goals. So look for managers who are going to support your career development path. Tip number 2, they have a clear vision and strategy for the team. And it's not only about having that clear vision and strategy, it's also about communicating it and making sure it's realistic and that everyone on the team knows what he or she needs to do to ensure success and drive this strategy forward. It's important that each team member knows their role in delivering results to ensure success of the project or the team or the company as well. So make sure you have a clear vision and strategy for the team. Tip number 3, has key technical skills to help advise the team. And this is really important. A lot of times you see great managers coming into a new role, and before they dive into anything, they get to understand everybody's role and their function on the team and what they do. More importantly, there's always that joke that they get their hands dirty. And what they mean by that is maybe they're coding or maybe they are in tech support, but they understand all the different features and functions that they need to do to help their employees do the job. Maybe it's an accounting role or a finance role where they understand how the numbers are being presented, but before they even get to that part, they understand how people within that process are doing their job so that they can provide the technical expertise to help guide their employees and become more proficient at their jobs. Our next tip, they collaborate across the company. Now, some managers may put together a us versus them mentality and create silos in their workspace. This doesn't help out. Instead, great managers have the ability to see the big picture. They realize that if they're part of the tech support team, they still need to know the sales team as well as the product management team and other parts of the team to understand how all functions tie together and ultimately serve the customer and serve the company. Great managers seek out to collaborate in different parts of the organization and build bridges and tunnels to help unify the company together, ultimately making the team and its members and the company more successful. Our last tip, they're strong decision makers. Great managers take the lead, they make the tough decision, which many people may or may not agree with at times, but they make sure everyone understands the reasons behind those decisions. Then they commit to following through. And of course, the first step is they identify effective people to help execute on that strategy, because it's important to make that decision, but execution on it is the key component to making sure that decision actually works. And when it doesn't work, there are times that they are able to go through that two-way door and go a different way with the decision. But first they try to execute on that strong decision that they made in the first place. That's a wrap for this week's EQ video tip. We hope you enjoyed this double feature. Again, take these tips that Google and Justin provided for us and customize them to make you a better manager, a better employee, and a better teammate within your organization. Again, use them to the best of your ability, but understand each one should be tailored to help you become better at what you do. So that concludes our EQ video tip for today. Try incorporating some of these tips into your daily routine. But remember, use what works best for you and personalize it for yourself. Thank you always to our great research team for providing us with some great tips today. As always on EQ video tip, we want to end with gratitude. So thank you for watching. We really appreciate it. Here are some resources that you can use if you want more information on EQ going forward. Thank you again, and we look forward to seeing you in the next episode. Thank you.